The bank called while I was crossing the street. Wind, horns. My name said like a question. "I don't think that's you," the woman said. "Your wife is here right now, with a man who looks just like you." Silence pooled in my chest. I told her that was impossible. I said my wife was on a business trip. I heard myself say it like I was reciting a fact I'd memorized years ago. A pause. "Please come in right away." The light changed. Cars moved. I didn't. My reflection in the glass storefront beside me looked intact. Tie straight, shoulders square. A man with no visible fractures. Inside, something slid loose. I imagined her hand on the counter. Her signature, confident, familiar. I imagined another version of me beside her, close enough to pass, close enough to fool a system built on numbers and certainty. I thanked the woman. My voice was steady. When the call ended, the city returned to volume. I stepped forward with everyone else, already rehearsing disbelief, already calculating time, airports, alibis, the shape of her lies. I didn't feel anger yet, just a quiet, clinical curiosity. If someone had taken my face, I wanted to know how long they'd been wearing it. At home, the apartment smelled the same. Her candles still burned low by the window, a habit she forgot to break before trips. I stood there longer than necessary, letting the normality press against me. She texted from Berlin. A photo. Hotel curtains, a glass of wine, no face. I told myself there were explanations, twins, errors, coincidences engineered by tired tellers and worse lighting. But small things rearranged themselves. The joint account she insisted on separating last year, the sudden interest in my schedule, the way she'd studied my signatures, asking why I crossed the T that way. I sat at the table and opened the laptop, not to accuse, to confirm my sanity. Phone records first. A second number appeared often, always late, always short. A burner, I realized, a professional's caution. I closed my eyes and pictured her practicing my smile. The betrayal wasn't loud, it was procedural, a careful theft done with gloves. She called that night, asked about my day. I said, fine. I listened to her breathe. I didn't rush. Rushing is how you tip the board. I requested archived footage from the bank through a colleague who owed me a favor, compliance wrapped in polite emails, nothing that would alert her. I ran a background check on the second number. It led nowhere, which told me everything. Cash payments, rotating towers, someone trained. I started watching myself through her eyes, the questions she'd asked, the way she corrected my posture, how she'd once laughed when I signed a receipt differently. I practiced calm. At dinners, I nodded. I kissed her cheek through a screen. I matched her tone. Inside, the storm organized. The footage arrived 3 days later. Grainy, fixed angle. There she was, leaning into the counter, and beside her, he had my build, my hairline, my hands, but not my pauses. He signed too quickly. I rewound until the detail hurt. A mask can copy a face. It can't copy restraint. I ordered a forensic comparison of the signatures from the bank transaction. Stroke pressure, entry points, muscle memory. While it processed, I prepared the rest. I moved money, quietly, legally. I changed beneficiaries. I logged everything. She returned from Berlin with stories rehearsed smooth. I hugged her. She felt smaller. The report arrived at dawn. Not a match. The signature wasn't mine. The man at the bank wasn't me. I made coffee. I drank it black. I waited. That evening, I placed the report on the table between us. No preface, no tone. She read. Once. Then again. Her face folded inward like a building losing support. "It's not," she started. I raised a hand, gently. I asked one question. "How long?" She cried without sound, shook her head, said my name like it was a lifeline she'd cut herself. I watched the performance collapse. The precision gave way to panic. The truth didn't need volume. It sat there, documented, indifferent. I told her I'd already gone to the bank. I told her they'd flagged every transaction she'd touched. I told her the man who wore my face had been recorded entering and leaving properties tied to her accounts. I didn't tell her everything. I didn't need to. Her eyes searched mine for rage, for negotiation. I gave her process. I slid a second folder across the table. Divorce filings, financial separation, a timeline that removed me cleanly. "You planned this," she said. I nodded. Not out of cruelty, out of accuracy. I stood, put on my coat, paused at the door. "I won't protect you," I said, "and I won't pursue you." Those were the two things she needed most. I left her with neither. Outside, the night was cold and exact. I walked without hurry. Each step returned something to me. Not innocence, not trust, control. The city didn't know my story. That felt right. By morning, my name would be mine again, legally and otherwise. My accounts clean, my future unshared. I felt no urge to look back. Some betrayals end in screams. This one ended in paperwork and silence. The man who stole my face lost it the moment I stopped needing it, and the woman who thought she could replace me learned the cost of mistaking resemblance for identity. I kept walking, unrecognizable, finally myself.